but they let us in. And someone said there was a shooting, and they were just staying still and staying put.
A gunman opens fire on 2 National Guard members in the nation's capital today, leaving them both critically wounded. Good evening. Welcome to West Coast Wrap. I'm Alex Savage. Tonight, a suspect is in custody after that shooting just blocks away from the White House. And authorities say the man is an Afghan national who had been living in Washington state. The shooting happened near a metro train station. Authorities say the gunman ambushed those 2 National Guard members who were on high visibility patrol. Both victims are members of the West Virginia National Guard deployed to D.C. Witnesses describe hearing loud booms and then seeing people run from the scene. The FBI and ATF are assisting D.C. police with the investigation. At a briefing this afternoon, investigators said surveillance video indicates the shooter appears to have acted alone.
The individual, the suspect, came around the corner. He immediately started firing a firearm at the 2 National Guard members. So at that time, there were other National Guard members that were in the area. They heard the gunfire. They actually were able to intervene and to kind of hold down the suspect after he had been shot on the ground until law enforcement got there within moments.
We will work together collaboratively because this is a matter of national security, because this is a matter of pride. President Trump has been informed. We've been in contact with the White House.
Police say the suspect is in custody after being shot and wounded. His injuries are not life-threatening. Over 2,000 National Guard troops have been assigned to Washington, D.C. to address crime. And in response to today's shooting, President Trump says he's deploying 500 more National Guard troops to the nation's capital. The president also called for a reinvestigation of all Afghan refugees who entered under the Biden administration. Turning now to the Thanksgiving holiday getaway, and this is a live look at the Bay Bridge in San Francisco. AAA is predicting the busiest travel season in years, with an estimated 81 million people traveling 50 miles or more for the holiday. And while most holiday travelers will be driving to see their loved ones for Thanksgiving, many are taking to the skies. Fox 13's AJ Janavel has more tonight on the travel rush from Seattle.
Typical dad behavior, exactly.
2 hours early for his family's flight out of SeaTac Airport, Armin Holt tells us he's just relieved to be able to get on a plane.
Things got worked out with the whole government shutdown, and I haven't seen family in about like a year. So I'm very excited to travel and see them.
The majority of Thanksgiving travelers actually take their own cars. 73 million people are projected to hit the roads this week.
I'm visiting family here in Seattle. Just drove up from Sacramento for the Thanksgiving holidays.
Kavya Shri left days in advance to get to Seattle, but other drivers are braving their Thanksgiving trips on one of the worst days for driving through one of the worst bottlenecks in our region.
We got lucky with the pass. Seemed like everybody going the opposite direction. There's a semi flipped, so we got lucky being on the heading westbound.
It was really easy driving down on I-5, but that was I-5 South. I had no traffic. I think if I'd gone a little bit later in the day, it would have been a little crazy.
Coming from all corners of Washington, drivers avoided major headaches on their Thanksgiving trips. For Taylor Hall, her journey to Bainbridge Island is almost finished. She's just a ferry ride away.
I'm actually going over to my best friend's house, and we're going to do Thanksgiving there, but she's vegetarian, so we're not doing turkey.
Okay.
What
are you doing instead?
We're going to do a bunch of roasted vegetables, and I'm bringing my stepmom with me, so we're going to have a good time. We're kind of doing like a blended family Thanksgiving.
In Seattle, AJ Janavel, Fox 13 News.
Hundreds of airline catering workers protested outside of Los Angeles International Airport last night. The workers are demanding a new contract, alleging unsafe working conditions, broken equipment, fire hazards, and unfair wages. The protest blocked a major intersection, even prompting some travelers to abandon their vehicles in order to make their flights.
Honestly, people don't care about people who make the food and put it on the planes. And so we wanted to make a statement.
The protest comes as LAX is expected to handle some of its highest passenger volumes of the year. A shooting today in Tacoma, Washington, prompted authorities to place 3 schools on lockdown. It happened late this morning. The Pierce County Sheriff's Office says the shooting involved at least 3 people. One person suffered non-life-threatening injuries. Neighbors called 911, reporting at least 15 rounds of gunfire.
They are presumed to have firearms on them right now and be dangerous. So we're encouraging the community to remain inside their homes or report any suspicious activity that they see in the area.
Detectives are interviewing the person who was shot as part of the investigation. So far, nobody has been arrested. We're learning more tonight about a crash in Colorado that left 5 people dead, including 3 children. It happened Monday night along Highway 83 near Franktown. Police say a man allegedly driving a stolen Toyota lost control driving south on the highway. He went off the road and got back onto the highway's northbound lane where he struck another car, a Ford Fusion, killing a father and 3 children inside.
I hate to say it, but we're used to as state troopers covering fatal crashes, but we're not so used to having to count how many fatalities we have in that one crash. And we're not used to, or we're not, thankfully, right, so comfortable with there being kids in it.
The driver of that stolen car also died. 2 other young teens who were inside that Ford Fusion were injured but survived. Police say the driver who caused the crash is a 31-year-old man from Denver. The second suspect in a double homicide in Washington has pleaded not guilty. 20-year-old Jaden Johns appeared in court in Thurston County today. He's accused of driving the car involved in a drive-by shooting that killed 2 teenage brothers earlier this month. A judge denied him bail. Another man, Traquan Wilson Mason, was also charged with 2 counts of murder and denied bail. The man accused of killing 3 people at a Colorado Springs Planned Parenthood clinic nearly 10 years ago has died in federal custody. 1 police officer and 2 civilians were killed in the 2015 shooting. 67-year-old Robert Deere was facing state and federal charges, but judges have repeatedly found him mentally incompetent to stand trial. He died in custody in Springfield, Missouri. An autopsy will determine his cause of death. A federal prison in Southern California is closing down because of its crumbling infrastructure. Terminal Island Prison in Los Angeles is a low-security facility housing almost 1,000 inmates. It opened in 1938 and now has dangerous conditions, including falling concrete that's threatening the heating system. The prison once held infamous inmates like Al Capone and Charles Manson. Current inmates, including former attorney Michael Avenatti, will be relocated. The Federal Bureau of Prisons says the repairs on the facility would cost over $110 million. In Colorado, a former county clerk convicted of election interference will not be transferred from state prison into federal custody. Earlier this month, the Federal Bureau of Prisons asked the state to transfer Tina Peters, who was involved in a data breach scheme tied to the 2020 election. It involved false claims about voting machine fraud. President Trump has called Peters a hostage and publicly voiced support for her release, and the president cannot grant her a pardon while she remains in state custody. Well, for many passengers, driverless cars offer convenience, but for those with epilepsy, they can offer the freedom to travel safely. Fox's Dominique Newland has more tonight from Phoenix.
For Colin Longsworth, he does business in the car, more specifically in a Waymo. Colin had to take a back seat to driving after being diagnosed with epilepsy at 27.
I try my best. I know this isn't possible, but to live almost as if I don't have epilepsy, right? I know I have seizure disorder, I have limitations, but Waymo really allows me to travel around, to see my clients, to travel as if I don't have any restrictions, and it allows me to live freely, whether it's workout, personal, business, etc. So to those individuals that may have some hesitations, I would explore.
The self-driving autonomous cars stand out on the roads, especially without a driver in the front seat. But for Colin, it's perfect, as he doesn't have to alert anyone about his epilepsy and seizures. He can pull the car over at any time in full control.
Without the driver here, just being alone, when you talk, especially with tax mitigation and some of the high net worth clients, you're talking about personal stuff, individual stuff. Could be social security numbers, could be a name, somebody here. So, it's nice to be able to talk in privacy and speak freely and talk about pretty much whatever you want. It's like a mobile office in a sense.
Waymo has teamed up with the Epilepsy Foundation of America to raise awareness about the realities those with the condition face. Due to the serious safety risks associated with having a seizure while at the wheel, many with epilepsy cannot drive. Waymo helps alleviate that stress, making the day-to-day commute a lot smoother.
I really love that Waymo has the option for people with epilepsy to maintain their privacy, be safely transported, and not have to disclose to someone on the bus, hey, do you know what to do if I'm having a seizure? Or use another rideshare option where a person would have to have that knowledge to be comfortable transporting them.
Almost in a sense, Waymo helping riders like Colin gain back his independence, not only making his life easier, but more efficient in the workspace, taking calls and getting things done from the back seat, not letting anything get in his way of success. For Fox 10 News, I'm Dominique Newland.
Today marks the first official day that Arizona drivers can show their love for local wine right on their license plates. The Verde Valley Wine Trail has just launched the Northern Arizona Wine Trail plate, and it's available now for both cars and motorcycles. The new specialty plate supports the Arizona wine industry and also helps boost the local economy. Still ahead here on West Coast Wrap tonight, Hawaii's Kilauea volcano is putting on a show right now. What happened after the latest eruption that's keeping geologists on their toes. Also, why a judge has found efforts to manage the wildfire risk in California may be doing more harm than good.
And in weather, here is our live camera looking above San Francisco for your Wednesday night. We will have more in your West Coast Wrap forecast coming up after the break.
California is once again joining a lawsuit against the Trump administration. This suit accuses the administration of unlawfully restricting eligibility for vulnerable SNAP recipients. The food aid is known as CalFresh in California. Attorney General Rob Bonta, along with a coalition of 21 other attorneys general, announced the lawsuit earlier today. They say the USDA's guidance erroneously excludes certain lawful non-citizens from SNAP eligibility when they become lawful permanent residents.
Their new guidance was issued hastily, inaccurately, and without regard for the law. It misstates who's eligible for SNAP and threatens to deprive thousands of lawful permanent residents of the food benefits that Congress guaranteed to them. At best, the guidance was sloppy and uninformed.
That lawsuit was filed today in Oregon federal court. The Trump administration has not yet commented on the suit. A Bay Area congressman and now gubernatorial candidate Eric Swalwell says that he's focusing on making food prices more affordable for Californians. Swalwell was at Eden Unified Church of Christ in Hayward today, preparing and distributing food for Thanksgiving meals for families in need. Swalwell, who announced his decision last week to run for California governor next year, says Californians need a, quote, fighter and protector and someone who can bring down prices.
I see it as the next governor of California has two jobs. One, to keep Donald Trump out of our homes, out of our streets, and out of our lives. And two, to bring a new California that brings down costs.
Swalwell is running for governor against a crowded field of candidates, including Democrats, billionaire businessman Tom Steyer, former L.A. Mayor Antonio Villaraigosa, schools superintendent Tony Thurmond, former Congresswoman Katie Porter, former California Attorney General Javier Becerra, and former State Controller Betty Yee. In Northern California, a series of earthquakes rattled the Bay Area this morning. The largest of those quakes was a 4.0. It struck about 5 miles southeast of Gilroy, that's south of San Jose. During a 5-minute span, there was also a 2.7 and a 3.6 magnitude quake. The shaking could be felt as far north as San Francisco.
There's something on the order of about a 30% chance over the next week that we'll see a magnitude 3 aftershock for this event. So very, very small percentage.
Experts say the feeling of a magnitude 3 earthquake is similar to what you might feel if a heavy truck passes by your house while you're lying in bed. We turn now to Hawaii, where the Big Island's Kilauea volcano spewed lava about 400 feet in the air yesterday. The USGS says it was confined to the volcano's summit caldera and no homes are being threatened. Right after the eruption settled down, a magnitude 4.6 earthquake hit this area just around the volcano. Kilauea is one of the world's most active volcanoes and has had a series of frequent eruptions since December of 2024. New research has found Mount Rainier in Washington is shrinking, and this is most likely due to climate change. Researchers believe that since 1950, Mount Rainier has been reduced by more than 20 feet because of snow and ice melting over the years. Researchers have tracked its decline by using satellites, laser measurements, and historical photographs. Researchers also say the temperature at Rainier's summits has risen more than 5 degrees Fahrenheit since the mid-20th century. Scientists note they need more resources to continue monitoring the situation. The findings are published in the Arctic, Antarctic, and Alpine Research Journal. A California court has ruled CAL FIRE's vegetation management program could worsen wildfire risks. According to the LA Times, the program, which clears native chaparral, may unintentionally promote the growth of invasive, highly flammable grasses. Ecologists say the approach harms biodiversity and increases the fire risk. The court ordered CAL FIRE to revise its plans to address those concerns. Let's turn now and talk about our weather here as we head toward Thanksgiving tomorrow. This is a live look at downtown San Francisco tonight, where folks in the Bay Area are in the clear, and we're looking pretty good across most of the West. Let's bring in KTVU's chief meteorologist, Mark Tamayo, with that all-important Thanksgiving forecast. Mark?
Hi there, Alex. Yeah, quiet forecast across a good portion of the West. Right into it tomorrow, but the one exception, I'm standing in front of it right now. You can see some more action on the radar over the past few hours impacting Portland and Seattle. So it looks like the main storm track is focused up there. So these are, you can see the rain coverage here, and these are some of the snow reports throughout the day today. In fact, this one report shown 8 inches of snowfall. That was from earlier this morning. As we back out the maps right now, you can clearly see the main focus is up here, a big ridge over California. So the biggest deal for California will be some fog for the morning hours, especially out toward the Central Valley, impacting the San Francisco Bay Area, but maybe just some high clouds as well, drifting into portions of the state. This was the scene in Seattle today, showing you all the cloud cover, 0.09 with rainfall accumulation and a temperature of 49 degrees. So they are in the cool part of the weather pattern. In San Francisco, temperatures in the upper 50s, some hazy sunshine this afternoon. And then out toward Phoenix, you can see lots of sunshine there. Out toward Arizona, temperatures in the mid 70s earlier this afternoon for an afternoon high. Right now, it is 57 degrees in Las Vegas, Reno in the upper 40s, Portland, Oregon in the upper 40s, checking in 49 degrees. And here's the overall weather story for tomorrow. We are talking about some rain up in the Seattle forecast, clearing skies for the Bay Area. It's a warm day down in Southern California, temperatures approaching the 80s. A nice forecast for Phoenix and more sunshine in the Denver area for tomorrow. Here's the forecast models. You can see it does show you the clouds kind of moving into portions of California, even out toward portions of Arizona, some higher clouds. And then here we go with that rain approaching Seattle up toward Portland for your Thursday afternoon. Could be locally heavy at times as that system comes on board, that area of low pressure comes on board. So here is the forecast of the next few days. You can see a bit unsettled up in Seattle. San Francisco will have some fog in the morning, potentially with some clearing skies into the afternoon hours. A sun cloud mix in general for Los Angeles, also out toward the Phoenix area. And look at that big change for Denver. You can see approaching the lower 60s on Friday, and then a big drop off of those numbers with the forecast high of only 30 degrees into Saturday. So clearly the big weather pattern change moving in by the weekend. But at least for tomorrow, for Thanksgiving, it looks like the only wet turkeys, Alex, will be focused up in Seattle with that system coming on board.
Right. Looks like a pretty good Thanksgiving. Yeah. Okay, Mark, thank you. A holiday tradition returns to San Francisco's Union Square. The Westin St. Francis Hotel unveiled its Sugar Castle earlier today. The 12-foot tall castle was inspired by French chateaus, and it features grand towers and colorful windows, all made of about 1,000 pounds of sugar. It's surrounded by gift boxes, gingerbread trees, and a toy train. The executive chef says work began back in July to spruce up the palace, which was first created 20 years ago.
We expanded a little bit. We put a lot more figurines. We added more details. We refresh it. We retool it, I'm going to call it. Yes.
The chef says he loves to see the reaction of the crowd and showcasing all the different types of sugar creations by the pastry team. The display is free and open to the public through January 2nd. Coming up tonight here on West Coast Wrap, it may only be Thanksgiving, but some experts say making New Year's resolutions now may be the trick to making them stick. We'll have the details from one expert after the break. Visiting some national parks is about to get much more expensive for international tourists. The Department of Interior says starting January 1st, non-U.S. residents without an annual pass will pay a $100 per person fee. That's on top of the regular entrance fee to visit 11 of the most visited national parks in the country, including the Grand Canyon, Yellowstone, and Yosemite. A beloved Galapagos tortoise and oldest resident of the San Diego Zoo has died at the age of 141. Grandma is believed to have been born in her native habitat, and she came to the San Diego Zoo from the Bronx Zoo in either 1928 or 1931. It's a bit unclear. Her caretakers say she was sweet and shy and was often referred to as the queen of the zoo. She had suffered from bone conditions that progressed before she was euthanized. Galapagos tortoises can live more than 100 years in the wild and live nearly double that in captivity. Well, with last-minute shoppers heading to grocery stores to prepare for their Thanksgiving meal, many folks are wondering how this year's prices are going to compare. The American Farm Bureau Federation says the overall cost of Thanksgiving dinner this year did go down by 5%. But many items saw sizable price increases. That includes canned jelly cranberry that's up by 38% this year. Wholesale turkeys were predicted to increase in price by 44% since the U.S. turkey flock hit a 40-year low due to a rise in bird flu. Finally, tonight, one health and wellness coach says there's no reason to wait until New Year's to get your 2026 resolutions in place. Fox's Gary Baumgarten explains why an early start could help keep your goals going strong well into the new year.
Most people probably don't think of Thanksgiving as a time to start planning resolutions for the new year, but according to some wellness experts, thinking ahead can help you ease into your goals with grace and create chances to build more sustainable habits, especially with past research finding many people abandon their resolutions by the second Friday in January.
It's really helpful to have a game plan heading into November and December just to how to navigate the holiday season.
If you're not sure where to begin,
think about what you're already doing well right now. So let's build upon your strengths.
With so many resolutions usually centered around health, this time of year can provide opportunities to practice good routines, which people can then expand on in the new year.
A lot of the holidays revolve around eating and food. So if you really love your mom's apple pie, allow yourself to enjoy that. Just don't, just do so in moderation.
The same can be said for those looking to accomplish exercise goals.
You're spending time with family. How can you be more physically active as a family? And we know the health benefits of walking after a meal. But if you can't get out and walk, you can do charades. And our family likes to do minute-to-minute games. So it allows you to be active instead of just sitting around the TV watching football all day.
Meanwhile, with the holiday shopping rush intensifying, there will also be plenty of chances to set and work towards any financial aspirations.
Giving yourself a budget this holiday season if you haven't in the past.
Gary Baumgarten, Fox News.
Good advice there. That does it for West Coast Wrap tonight. We appreciate you watching as always. And a quick reminder for you to stay up to date on all the stories we're covering across the West. All you have to do is head to westcoastwrap.com and you can stream our shows for free on the Fox Local app. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone. Have a great night.